What is up, everyone? So today I got the HX 440 stainless steel Tomahawk. This is the Mercenary Edition from HX. It's readily available in a lot of places. So we're going to go over its features, its price point, and whether or not you should purchase it. So let's get into this review and see what it's all about. So the first thing we want to do is weigh it out for you, so that way you get an understanding of its weight. So you're looking at 1 pound, 13.1 ounces, sheath included, okay? Now let's go over its measurements. So if its overall length is 14.25, the width is 6 inches wide, the handle width is about 1.25, and then its girth about a little shy of 3/4 of an inch. The hammerhead itself is a little shy of 3/4 of an inch by a few 16ths. And then the blade. So the blade, you're looking at 3.25. The taper of the blade here, you're looking at about an inch. And then the backbone rib from this hammer top to the blade is about 4 inches, okay? So that's the overall size. Okay, now let's get into the features. Okay, so this retails for about $70, okay? You get a nice setup. This is a Tomahawk setup, and it's cool because this is designed to fit on your person, okay? So you get a Kydex sheath that has leather straps or fake leather straps, okay, with buckles. I'm not a fan of this stuff. There's other Tomahawk brands that are pretty cool, or one of the brands that actually allows the sheath to be half a sheath, and then it magnetizes to the micarta like so, and then there's a clip that twists to lock it in just in case it does fall out. I think that's a really awesome design, and I'm thinking about making my own. Okay, so you get a nice sheath here for what you pay for the Tomahawk. You got these slots here that allows this to be adjusted, your straps. So it allows them to be taken off and put into these slots if you so choose to, or mounting it to any type of molly webbing you want. So you always got options. Options are always good. And then you have a belt clip here. So your belt clip is basically a clamshell style belt clip, okay? Like so. It has these side buckles here that you pinch in, so that way you can release it right here. And then you have a clasp. It's kind of hard to see, but you have a clasp in here that actuates, so that way once this is clamped down, you lock it in place and it doesn't pop out. You have a thing right here, a bar, that allows you to change its height. So if you have a thinner buckle, or a thinner belt, I should say, this buckle could thin down or trim down, so that way you could run a thinner width belt in there, like dress belts. Okay, so that's the sheath. It's really well built. I think this is like 80 thousandths micarta or whatever, or 80 thousandths Kydex. The finish on their trim is really nicely done. They polished it really nice, so it looks like one complete piece. So yes, I do like that. Now for the axe itself, or the Tomahawk itself, okay? Let's talk about the G10 scales. Really nicely made. I like the fact that they have these unique finger grooves in here. It's kind of hard to see, but there's unique finger grooves in there. They are more of a square instead of like little circle cutouts. They're more square cutout, so that way it kind of grips your hand as you recess them in there. Okay, so that's pretty cool. It might not fit most people. I mean, it might not fit anyone, but it fits me well. One thing I don't like is this. At the bottom of the tang right here, there is a groove cut out for a finger, and it makes your finger go this way, which is kind of weird. I mean, I don't see why you would grip it that way. It's at an angle. like so. So I don't know what that's all about. So your next grip is midway up the spine, okay, like so. It's pretty nice because it allows you to choke up. It allows me to rest my thumb on the back of the spine here, okay, like so. And this will allow me to like do saw work or something along those lines, maybe carve or chip away bark, which is really nice. But I think I'd like to choke up even more, something around that vicinity, okay, really far up on the neck if I'm going to do something like that, okay. It does have a pry bar tool right here with a fork, okay, so you could pop nails. And then you have 2 holes here to run like a lanyard, and I don't know what else I'd use those for, but I wouldn't use it as a lanyard because if I did, I feel like these sharp ends right there will really screw your wrist up, especially if you let it go and it digs in. These corners are super sharp. So these corners right here, super duper sharp, okay? I don't like that. To be honest with you, I might even just cut this off. I think this is too short to be a pry bar. I mean, in a pinch it'll work, but for what I'm gonna use it for, I'm not gonna use it for that purpose. I'm just gonna use it for an axe that I could carry on my person, use it as a self-defense tool, and it just looks cool, okay? As we work our way up, in these areas you do have recesses that are grooved out that give it aesthetics and also breaks the sharp edges for your finger so that way it doesn't get cut as it works its way across in there. You do have a removable head here, so this hammerhead part does remove. It does have the teeth here for wood. One thing I would say is in a pinch this will work, but I would not use it for a daily hammer. As you can see, the angle of the blade is facing you, so I mean you come across and this thing could really rack you in the arm. You got to pay attention when you're using it. For camping, this is perfect because you could stake stuff to a tree, you know, in a pinch. But if you can, I definitely recommend just buying the tools separately and not worrying about that problem. As a hiking device or something to carry on your person or in your vehicle, this thing does a lot of stuff, okay? You have these cutouts here that allow you to get different size hex nuts in there or bolts, so that way you could tighten stuff down. So if a hex fits in there, you could use it as a wrench, okay? Same thing with this. If anything were to happen to this head, you could change it out, swap it out, or you could change it with different ends. So they got like spikes and stuff like that you could put on here, okay? The blade itself is super sharp right out of the package, okay? It's a nice sharp edge, especially for being an axe. I mean, you don't want it too sharp, too thin because it'll damage it. The nice thing about this profile is it looks cool, okay? As far as being practical, this surface is practical. I don't know so much about that edge, okay? So that top 45 edge, I don't think is practical. Maybe to do a jabbing motion, I'm not quite sure. I'm not an expert at axes or tomahawks, nor do I claim to be. This is just to show you what I purchased and whether or not it's of interest to you, since I do have it, okay? You have some Chinese branding here. You have HX Outdoors with an elk on there, just like their other axe or tomahawk. This says Mercenaries Tactical, you know, all the tactical stuff is written on there, okay? So that's what it looks like. So this is what the two look like side by side. If you're interested in the larger one, okay? If you're gonna keep it with you, I prefer this size. If you're gonna carry it in your camping gear or in your vehicle, I prefer the larger size. But both of them are cool. And they're relatively priced nicely where it's not gonna break the budget. Or it's gonna... Both of these are priced relatively compatible. Both of these are priced relatively well. in compared to other brands out there and the features you get, and they both look amazing. I mean, I like both looks of them. As far as function, I think this one will function better than this one, only because this one has a weird curved handle to it, okay? So that's going to complete today's video on this HX Outdoors Mercenary Tomahawk. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated. If you want to see content like this and other content I'll be posting in the near future, consider subscribing. Until next time, I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching.